we do these regularly once a week, and there's a limited amount of space or amount of information, I guess, about these, and about the Lord's Supper in the Bible, really. One scripture, should I say, not thing, but a scripture that continually comes up, I haven't necessarily used it because I thought it was a common scripture, was Isaiah 53. It's one of the ones people always talk about when they talk about Christ, the prophecy of Christ. It's one of the ways we can look at the Bible and we can say, wow, look at this. This was a prophecy that's written unbelievably long before Christ's birth, and it describes Christ, which I'm going to read here in a second. And it's sort of like, this is a common scripture. You see it, people quote it everywhere. It's one of those things that it's sort of like a movie you watch. And you say, I love that movie, but you watch it, maybe you watch it 2 or 3 times, and you get kind of tired of it. And you're not tired of it, but you just get to where you know it. Well, I haven't read the scripture in a while, and maybe some of you haven't read it either. So I thought it would be good to really emphasize, because this really does emphasize the sacrifice that was made here in Isaiah 53, the sacrifice that was to be made in the future. And so let's start reading Isaiah 53 from the New International Version. So who has believed our message, and to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? He grew up before him like a tender shoot, and like a root out of dry ground. He had no beauty or majesty to attract us to him, nothing in his appearance that we should desire him. He was despised and rejected by mankind, a man of suffering and familiar with pain, like one of whom people hide their faces. He was despised, and he was held in low esteem. Surely he took up our pain and bore our suffering, yet we consider him punished by God, stricken by him, and afflicted. But he was pierced for our transgressions, he was crushed for our iniquities, and punishment that brought us peace was on him, and by his wounds we are healed. We are all sheep. We have gone astray. Each of us has turned to our own way, and the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all. He was oppressed and afflicted, yet he did not open his mouth. He was led like a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before its shearers is silent, so he did not open his mouth. By oppression and judgment he was taken away. Yet who of his generation protested? For he was cut off from the land of the living. For the transgressions of my people he was punished. He was assigned a grave with the wicked, and with the rich in his death. But he had done no violence, nor was any deceit in his mouth. Yet it was the Lord's will to crush him and cause him to suffer. And though the Lord makes his life an offering for sin, he will see his offspring and prolong his days. And the will of the Lord will prosper in his hand. After he has suffered, he will see the light of life, to be satisfied by his knowledge. My righteous servant will justify many, and he will bear their iniquities. Therefore, I will give him a portion among the great, and he will divide the spoils with the strong. Because he poured out his life unto death, and is numbered with the transgressors, for he bore the sins of many and made intercessions for the transgressors.